It's really changing the narrative of how people view us and helping represent our culture on the highest regard is really what my main focus and goal is at the moment, at this stage of my life anyway. My name is Tolu Asemota. I was born in America, New Jersey. I left when I was 3 years old and moved back to Nigeria and spent 4 years over there. When I was 7, I moved to Ireland. So I've kind of been here for the majority of my life. There was a stage where I felt way more Irish than Nigerian. And then as you get older, I started feeling way more Nigerian than Irish. And just the fact that I grew up here, it's like a tug of war of like, who am I and who am I trying to be? And I loved community so much that I made the effort to travel to see uncles that I hadn't seen in 20 years. Made the rounds to family in Nigeria, Cape Town, LA. I realized it was the sense of community that I wanted, always looking for community. Always looking for community, always trying to see how can we stay unified. And I started just by me wanting community within my own family. And in the act of wanting community between my own family, I also then started looking at the global society and thinking, what can we as Africans do to be a lot more unified? So me wanting community within myself, finding that, then me wanting community in this place that is home. And then me thinking then, if I felt like this in Ireland, what about at the African diaspora in Switzerland or in Manchester or in other places in Europe? I felt if we can create this concept over here and it works, it's something that we could just take to other places and make people feel unified as well. I created Ibile with my head chef, Nemo. So I run the front of house, and it is a space to change the narrative around African food and change around the narrative around African culture. I think, some people over in Ireland have like a specific type of view of Africa as a whole. And even though Africa is so big, like West Africa is different to East and North and South, but they have this particular type of narrative around the culture, around the food, and seeing the vision of what we decided to come up with come to life and us executing on what we're trying to do is super exciting. I think every time we do our pop-ups, I just get excitement from it. It just fills me with excitement. It just fills me with joy. It fills me with like, wow, this is coming to life. It's really changing the narrative of how people view us and helping represent our culture on the highest regard is really what my main focus and goal is at the moment, at this stage of my life anyways. Creating a space that the African diaspora could be super proud of, and creating a space that somebody who has never really heard too much about African food or African culture, doesn't have any understanding, can come in and be like, well, that was really interesting, I want to know more. On our vision statement, which is like a longer goal, we want to change the narrative and be on the forefront of global cuisines. So when you think of French, Italian, we want you to also think of West African, Nigerian. And one of the missions for Ibile is being a community and a hub for the African diaspora to feel extremely proud of the establishment that we've accomplished here in Ireland, and for people who have never experienced our culture to come and also experience our culture and experience it on the highest level and feel like, okay, this is something I want to know more about, and this is food I want to keep trying.